Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Touchdown Talk, College Football Edition. I'm your host, Brett Smith, here on Wednesday afternoon, September 24th. We had week 4 come and go, and it was a good one for us. Now we've got week 5, probably the best week of college football that we'll have this season so far is how it's shaping up to be. Um, Week 4, we really saw a lot of teams maybe with questions or concerns, maybe some that are proving to be true, actually the team that people thought they would be. Um, we'll kind of go through this recap quick, because there's some things that I want to talk about as well, and then also look forward to week 5 bets as well, best bets that I have for the weekend. Week 4, we went 5-3. Iowa under on Friday night was shot out of the gate. 42 points by halftime in an Iowa Rutgers game was not on my bingo card. I did not have that being the case. But whenever you have a touchdown by either team in the first 2.5 minutes, it kind of sets up for disaster there. Then we had Texas Tech spread. That was a hit. I think the final score of that was 31-10, 34-10. Texas Tech looked like the real deal. They looked like what they are currently, which is a Big 12 favorite, and they look like the runaway team out of the Big 12 to go ahead and kind of win the regular season. But they're my pick to win the Big 12. Their defense looked really, really good, containing Devin Dampier in that Utah offense. Yeah, I'd kind of expect more out of that with them here in the coming weeks. I think they have a bye week this week, much needed before getting into kind of just the rest of your Big 12 slate. UNLV minus 2.5. Playing from behind the whole game, and they get a miracle cover. Ties it up with, I don't even know, a minute or two left, and goes into overtime, wins it. Just that one went our way. I thought that was chalked early on. It looked like it for the whole game, and sure enough, it comes out a winner. North Texas minus 2, another winner, where they were up, 21-3, and then kind of let North Texas back in the game. Ended up tying it up, going to overtime. North Texas wins 41-38, and they bottled up Army's offense in the run game pretty well through the first half. Army kind of made some adjustments. That North Texas was not having on the defensive side of the ball, and let them back in it. And then moving to 2:30 games, Nebraska plus 2.5. For it being a 3-point game, final was 30-27 Michigan. A loss here. It felt a lot bigger than a 3-point win for Michigan. They just kind of came in and did what they wanted this game, it felt like. They ran the ball, had so many explosive run plays. Just kind of set the tone early, up 10-0 out of the gate. Nebraska gets a score to get back in it, and then has the Hail Mary at halftime, which I thought would be a momentum shifter and kind of give them what they needed in the second half to come away with a win there, maybe. But Michigan just kept on doing what they were doing. It was working, and Nebraska couldn't stop them. Dylan Raiola had over 300 passing yards, too. You really watch that game, and you're like, how? How did he have 300 passing yards? Threw the ball 40 times, had about a 75% completion percentage, but still, Did not see that being the case at all, but it happened. Tough one there. But then OU, our other 2:30 game, was a big hit off of a miracle safety where we have them, where OU has them backed up in the inside the 5, I think at the 2 or 3 yard line, and um, I think there was 3 straight sacks, something like that, but a sack in the end zone, up 22-17, um, to secure a 24-17 win, and one of the craziest covers I've had in a while. Temple plus 23.5, another crazy cover because it was 45-17 with a minute and 38 left. Temple drives down the field, and with 3 seconds left, 4th and goal, they score and they cover the 23.5 and lose 45-21. But Georgia Tech looked as good as advertised from other weeks that you've seen. You know, going back to Clemson. I mean, this team can make a run for the ACC title, not just regular season, but also the ACC championship game. Our last one of the night, Baylor money line. Just a lot of things didn't go our way in this. And then there was a walk-off field goal by Arizona State. Big win for Kenny Dillingham and that squad. Trying to get the ship righted. You know, this team looks completely different without Cam Scatterbo. But on the other side, Dave Aranda has to get it figured out with Big 12 play starting. I don't know. You don't have much more than just a tough loss there. But looking at week 4, there is teams that I don't know what's going to happen with them. One of them being Arkansas, as they are up 28-10, get a terrible offensive pass interference that ended up being a defensive pass interference call somehow right before halftime, making it 28-17, giving Memphis momentum, getting the ball out of halftime. And your offense scores 3 points. But the real story is defense. I mean, defense, again, continuing to let down this offense and this fan base. I mean, I don't know what else to say than they just don't look like they're competing out there. They don't know what they're doing, their assignments. They don't know anything. I mean, it's a loss where you're sitting at 2-2 with Notre Dame coming to town, and you should be 3-1 easily, 4-0, because you've had 2 straight weeks of a fumble inside the red zone, driving with a chance to win. You don't fumble here, you at least have a field goal in your back pocket to win. You know, fans have had enough. I've had enough. I think this game solidified that it is Sam Pittman's last year, regardless of what happens. And so now you have Notre Dame coming to town. Not an easier test, but you know, you're known to lose games like this and then win a game like Notre Dame. I mean, the spread's gone from 6.5 to 3.5 in 2 or 3 days. I don't know what to expect out of this team. Fans are mad. They want answers. They want Yurchek gone, which I don't blame them. I mean, just some of the comments that Yurchek has made this year saying that Arkansas cannot compete for championships, then what are we doing? Any team wants to come into the year thinking, hey, our team's good enough to go ahead and go and compete for a national championship and go win it. But your athletic director is telling you otherwise. and telling fans that give their hard-earned money to the program to compete, and for what? I mean, I don't know. I don't. There's just a lot of frustration around this fan base right now, and yeah, I could talk for another hour about all of this, but I'm not going to bore you all with that because there is a team in the Clemson Tigers that is sitting at 1-3 and could have very well been 0-4, but fought back to get that hard-earned one win. But Syracuse comes into your place, into Death Valley, at 11 a.m. and kicks your butt. And there was a 2-3 hour delay in that too, where you're making it 24-14 at halftime, and you come out and maybe have some momentum, but that's just gone. I mean, you look at this team, this quarterback, Cade Klubnik, who everybody expected to be a top 3 quarterback, top 5. My Heisman, I've burnt that future to the ground. That is so over with. And this wide receiver core that's next to none in the country, and you're getting shellacked at home. And now it really raises concerns as, hey, is Dabo really, you want to think he's bought into it. I mean, but his comments that he's saying, why are we different from anybody else in the country? Because 7 years ago, you won a national championship in the college football playoff format, unlike a lot of these other teams. So you're going to be held to a higher standard than all these other teams, especially in the ACC. You're supposed to be the perennial powerhouse in the ACC. You're not supposed to be 1-3 going into conference play with 2 losses in the ACC already. So Clemson has a lot to figure out. Their defense is kind of in the same boat as Arkansas. They can't stop anything. And so that puts a ton of pressure on your offense to go out there and be successful on every single drive, basically. So another big question mark over a team that had a lot of expectations coming into the year. And then another team where their coach is, hey, how long does he have left, is Florida and Billy Napier, losing 26-7 against Miami. I mean, a game where you just kind of got bullied. Flat out. You just got bullied the whole time. Ruben Bain was in your backfield more than you had planned for the night. But, I mean, look at him. What do you expect? But, I mean, even on the offensive side for Miami, they're running the ball and they're running you over. And you are just... You had 30 yards in the first half, and then you come out and double that in the first drive and get a score in the second half. But if you're Billy Napier and you're the play caller of this team, and you have DJ Lagway, who is supposed to be a top 3 quarterback, what are you doing? I mean, you put up 7 points. Now, I know this Miami team's good, but you don't look like you have a lot of fight at all. And I think they have a bye week this week, maybe. Quote me, comment down below if I'm wrong. Remind me who they have. I know they have A&M after Auburn this week. After A&M and Auburn this week. I mean, nothing leads me to believe that I'm going to pick Florida to win that game, then to pick Texas as a upset win coming to your place. So I think, like all these other people, I think as well, that Billy Napier's time in Florida is long overdue and is done. So you're sitting at 2-2 if you're Arkansas, with one of your biggest non-conference opponents coming into town this week. in a team that could very well exploit you and make your defense show no improvement and run all over you. Florida, they have a lot to figure out before their SEC gauntlet um, starts up. And then Clemson, I mean, 1-3. I don't know how much more success you're fighting for an 8-4 year, pretty much, because you have Florida State, South Carolina. I mean, I know those are two teams that could very well come and knock you off your pedestal. So, with all that, with that little talk, let's move into my Week 5 bets. Nothing for Thursday or Friday games. Nothing really exciting for me. But my first bet is Big Noon, Big Ten noon kickoff. USC Illinois over 60.5. With this USC team, I'm going to keep riding them till they fail me, and maybe not in a 6.5 point favorite going to Illinois, where Illinois just ran out of Indiana, 63-10. So Illinois is also looking for a huge bounce back there and giving them a touchdown underdog at home. I'm not touching that spread, but I will take these two teams to score over 60.5 points combined. I think both offenses are very prolific. I think it was a fluke week last week to lose by 53 to Indiana and only score 10, because I know this Illinois offense is much better than that. So give me the points there. Give me the over. We're going to move into our next one, Notre Dame and Arkansas. Two defenses that, obviously, as I just mentioned, have not impressed me. But both offenses, by the numbers, are pretty good. I mean, Arkansas is a top 20, top 15 offense in the country, scoring-wise, and just yardage. Over 65, I know you're saying that's a lot of points, but neither defense can stop anything. I mean, an offense full of old people would be able to score points on these two defenses right now. What you're thinking is crazy for Notre Dame, but I think Arkansas can hold their own there, and the spread going down to 3.5, leads me to believe that it's going to be a 38-35 type of ball game, or a 41-38 type of ball game. So give me that over. I think it gets into the 70s. We'll just wait and see. I'll be at that game, and of course, it would be a big win for Sam Pittman, but I don't know if I would be too happy for winning that game. Because then you look at the scenario where you should either be 5-0 and be a top 15 team and competing for a college football playoff spot, a top 12 spot. Now, granted, I know how Arkansas is. I don't expect that to have lasted, but you could also be 4-1 with how you would expect it to be. So, my next bet is Iowa plus 7.5. I think at home, a home dog. After Indiana just got that huge of a win, I think there's going to be a little big game hangover. Iowa's defense, I think, is going to be able to kind of put a stop to Indiana, and I just think they don't come out as hot. Maybe a little bit flat, I guess you could say. So give me Indiana there, or give me Iowa plus 7.5 at home. And then kind of the story of the week, Ole Miss, LSU, big game, 4 versus 13. Give me over 54.5. This total seems extremely low considering how many points these teams are known to put up. Trinidad Chambliss starting for LSU, or for Ole Miss. And a guy I follow on Twitter, Mikey Ober, had talked about the over in this game, which I'd already been on. I already liked it, and he put a picture of Whit Weeks and Landry Kiffin, Lane Kiffin's daughter, I guess, kind of launching their relationship. And he commented on Mikey Over's Twitter post and said, "Take the over." So that just kind of solidified it even more for me. Um, but I expect a lot of fireworks with these teams. It always is a good match, good game. Ole Miss, you know, Arkansas did what they wanted on offense with their defense, so I think LSU should be able to as well. Getting into some of the bigger night games, well, actually, before that, Ohio State traveling to Washington in an 8-point spread. I think Jeff Fish and this Washington team are not as highly touted as most people think. And I just think, this sounds bad, but I just think Ohio State, which they're a lot better team. And I think they come into Washington, and I think 8 points is extremely low. I think they win by 2 touchdowns easily and cover. So give me Ohio State -8 there. And then getting to our night games, Oregon traveling to Penn State. Oregon has looked like one of the best teams in the country. Their offense is next to none with Dante Moore at quarterback. This is really both teams' first test. And a game total of 52. I think Oregon comes in, and until James Franklin can win that big game, that it's always looming over his head. Can he win the big game? Can he win one? Give me Oregon +3.5. I think a field goal decides this game. I think they could win outright. I really do. I think this is another year where you look at Dan Lanning and this Oregon crew, and I think, hey, this could be one of their years where they're competing for a national championship year in, year out, obviously, but that they can actually make it to the big game and win it. I've been really impressed with Oregon through the first 4 weeks. Now, I know they haven't played too many, but manhandled Oklahoma State, which is Mike Gundy-less now, and then manhandled Oregon State as well. Moving on, Alabama versus Georgia under the lights in Sanford Stadium. 3.5-point spread. I think this Alabama team is very good. I do. Even losing to Florida State week 1, I think they are still a very, very good team. And Georgia kind of got punched in the mouth. Not this week, but last. In Tennessee, where Alabama could go in and do the same thing. And if this Alabama team jumps out to a 28-0 lead, like they did last year, I don't think this Georgia offense, led by Gunnar Stockton, could recreate the same comeback as what Carson Beck did with their team last year. Now, I think +3.5 is a little risky. A lot of it's gone to +3 now on books that I've seen, but just a game like this, give me Alabama +3.5. I don't know why, but it just kind of is calling my name. And then moving to our late night game out in Colorado, BYU versus Colorado, Bear Bachmeier, and this BYU offense that resorts more to the run now than it does to the pass, has a touchdown spread at -6.5, favored at -6.5 in Colorado. You see Caden Salter start last week and look all right. Look like, hey, I'm winning this job back. This job is mine. I'm going to do whatever it takes. But BYU at night, for some reason, is just one of the most unstoppable teams ever. And it doesn't matter who you put at quarterback. You could put me there. And BYU just finds a way to run away with games. And so I don't really know about an over in this, but I think it could be a 31-17 type of game. I think BYU, even with being a run heavy offense, can put up a lot of points. And so I am taking BYU minus 6.5 there. I think that they get the job done, and they are kind of looking at that Big 12 as, hey, it's up for grabs with Texas Tech, and so they're one of the top three teams in that league, or in that conference, I mean, and they know what they have to do, and so give me BYU minus 6.5 to go into Colorado and get a big win, kind of a propelling win. That is all the bets I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bets again for week 5 in the biggest week of college football that we have got yet. So, guys, if you're new here, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, comment down below what bets you are tailing, what bets you maybe don't like, or what bets you're taking that I did not list. But as for that, that is all I have for y'all today, and enjoy the weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week.